What's going on, everybody? It's your boy. And in this one, we are back doing something a little bit different. Obviously, the big thing with For Honor recently was the core combat update and the introduction of the new character, the Warmonger. That huge update kind of changed the game from being a reaction-based game to a read-based game. And there has been a lot of things said about this game recently. A lot of negative things about the patch as well. I figured I would give my take on it. I feel like I at least have more positives than a lot of people do. Again, that's just my own opinion as well. Like, there is some good stuff in here, like the character design, some of the content, and the matches themselves honestly don't feel too bad to me. But then there is a lot of negatives too. You know, like what the hell are some of these damage numbers? Like, why is Shaolin Triple Light do 15 damage with 36 stam? Why does a Lawbringer Light Parry top unblockable into Light do less damage than just a normal side heavy? Why is Aramusha playing underwater?
Hello, how are you? I am under the water. Please help me.
Why am I getting tribute orders in 2020 and why won't Warmonger stop yelling at me? Like, there's definitely the fair share of things that could be changed in here, but I'm going to do my best in this video to kind of talk about them quickly because I've been rambling too long. I've already recorded this a few times and I've just been talking way too long. I'm going to try to be constructive. I'm not going to be shitting on the devs really because I don't think that's very productive. I think it's better to kind of assess what's wrong, talk about it, and then, you know, find a way to actually make it better because the devs have seemed to be pretty transparent with us over the years and they will try to, you know, make changes, and we can already see that with this new patch that is getting put out on August 13th. Just, you know, a day after the thing went live, they announced the patch, which, you know, you obviously don't like to see, but at the same time, it's nice to see that at least changes will be getting made quickly. But that's what I'm going to talk about today. Again, like I said, this is just my opinion. You guys obviously can have different views on this. I'm just going to voice what I think about this current situation because a lot of people have asked me, and I'd like to give my take on it. So first off, I'll start with the positives, right? Start this on a good, happy note, and that is the character itself, the Warmonger. I think it's a really, really good designed character. The moveset is cool. I think, you know, it might be hard pressed to say it, but like, I think it's the best designed DLC character since like Marching Fire, maybe even better than some of the Wu Lin. The kit is good, but you can definitely counter a lot of the stuff in there as well. There's some slower attacks. The dodge attack isn't overly oppressing, but you still have a lot of options while playing the character. It's really, really cool. The aesthetic of the character is super nice. I love the content they came out with. That sheep is fucking adorable, don't get me wrong. The event battle pass is really, really cool. And honestly, this last thing is probably the biggest thing that people will probably disagree with me on, and I honestly think the matches have been more fun since the core combat update launched. And obviously, don't get me wrong, there's a ton of shit wrong. You know, like, I'm not going to say that there isn't. I'm not trying to be a yes man or anything, but I honestly am having a little bit more fun playing the game because I consider myself to be a pretty aggressive player. I throw out a lot of attacks. I get punished for throwing a lot of attacks. You know, throwing a fucking neutral Nature's Wrath doesn't always work. But honestly, in my games, I've pretty much only been playing 4s. A lot more people are throwing attacks. I'm seeing chain combos that I would have never seen before. I've seen people just trying to go for a lot of other stuff because, you know, with this game being now read-based versus reaction, you never know, it might hit. And I actually think that's really cool. I'm finding that the games are, you know, being more tense and I'm feeling a little bit more amped when I'm playing, and I think that that's really good. You know, this game's 4 years old. It needed something a little bit to revive it because honestly, in my assessment, you know, it got a little stale sometimes fighting and everything. I think it did need a big change. Obviously, there's some shit wrong with it, which does suck, but I do think it's overall heading in the right direction. We just have a little bit of ways to actually get it to that, you know, really, really good point. And in addition with that, like, I don't think that the stamina changes are like super, super bad. Obviously, there's some stuff that is like absolutely atrocious with stamina. Like I've said before, Shaolin 36 stamina and a 15 damage attack, that is really weird. But like the more stamina for lights, I think, is a good thing to put on here. I honestly think that that's good, and you're doing less bash lights in the game because of the stamina changes. I think that's fine. I like being able to throw more heavies out there and everything and not feeling like as punished if, you know, if it does get parried or if someone gets a parry and everything. I think there's some good stuff in there. Maybe you need to tweak it just slightly. Maybe lower it to like 10 stamina versus 12. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just kind of spitballing stuff, but I think that the stamina changes are actually relatively good. You have less people option selecting you, that's for sure, because a lot of zones are doing like 60 stam, and that's about half of your entire bar. So you know what, that's kind of nice to see. But in general, you know, I do think that there is some stuff that does need toning down on that. But I think it's it's in the right place. But again, there is some stuff that needs to get changed. Now we'll be moving into some of the negatives, and I don't want to be too negative, but honestly, I think the worst thing about this whole thing is like I felt like the devs maybe tried to do a little bit too much in terms of like their balancing, their changes, all all this stuff, that they just like, what happened to the testing ground, the second phase? Why didn't they just fucking drop that? Sure, we would have still probably had some damage values to change in there, but like, from what I saw when that was out, it was overwhelmingly positive, the amount of people saying like good things about the testing grounds. I don't know what happened. Why did all of these like values change up since then? You know, the very old saying, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. I mean, people were like, no one was like, yeah, I'm just really just kind of hating everything about that. That wasn't the overwhelming response. People were like, this is pretty freaking cool, and I thought that as well, so I was very surprised to see so many changes since the testing grounds, where I thought we were supposed to kind of give our feedback on if we liked it or not. That's why we had the first one, so we could give them feedback, and then they did the second one, and we were like, oh yeah, this is getting a lot better. So I'm very, very confused about that. That is probably the most disappointing thing about the actual Core Combat update, is that they kind of just, everything seems random now. It's kind of strange. And obviously the biggest thing with this is the damage values. So they want to, obviously, at least I thought they wanted us to, you know, have attacks do less damage because they're going to be faster from hiding the first 100 MS of the indicator. So I figured, okay, yeah, the attacks are probably going to be doing less damage across the board. That makes sense. But then, like, why does someone like Centurion now have 40 damage unblockables? Why does, you know, a light parry on LB, where you do an unblockable and a light, do damage than just a normal raw side heavy? Very, very strange. Like Kensei, I don't know why he got increased damage on his guard break and heavy chains and everything, and his unblockable only got a 1 damage reduction, being like one of the highest damaging attacks in the game. I'm very, very confused. So I think if you know, I wanted the attacks to be, you know, lower damage, but you got to do it, I think, more so across the board than, you know, raising some, lowering some. I think that kind of defeats the purpose a little bit. You know, obviously there's plenty of things that you can discuss with damage numbers and everything, and I agree there is a lot of bad things. I can't obviously get to all of them. There are some that are getting changed in the patch that is on August 13th, and I will be talking about that at the end of this video, so stay tuned to that, or you can use the little bars at the bottom with the sections of the video to kind of skip ahead if you want to see what the changes are. But yeah, the damage numbers, really, really weird. Then next is stamina. Obviously, I didn't have as much problem with stamina as a lot of other people did. I feel like, you know, stamina usage is probably a little bit more noticeable in duels because you're the only one using it and you're only fighting one person. Whereas in like 4s, your teammates can come in and you can kind of have a little bit of breathing room to kind of regain yourself. Obviously, I think light should do more stam, but when you have characters like Shaolin's triple light doing 36 stamina and 15 damage, that's stupid. Same with, you know, like Peacekeeper triple gouge on it. That makes no sense. And a lot of those double hit attacks, they are getting changed. So I think maybe once those do get changed, that'll help us out a lot. There probably is still numbers that definitely will have to get changed even after this patch, but it is nice to see that there is going to be some stuff getting changed, so you can look forward to that. But yeah, that made absolutely no sense. Like, why would I do a triple light on Shaolin when I can just throw a heavy that is a third of the stamina and does double the damage of the triple light? It's a real head scratcher on that one, guys. I was trying to think of, you know, things to potentially say about why this was a thing, and I came up with nothing. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is some very strange nerfs that occurred during this update. Specifically, my boy Aramusha. Look what they did to my boy. They massacred him. His heavies are... what happened to his katanas? Are those things like... they increased the weight of those by like 50 pounds or something? Did I not see that in like the patch notes? Was that in the fine print? Aramusha's katanas now weigh a whole shit ton more because he is swinging those things slow as shit, dude. He's like he's underwater or swinging through molasses. It is very, very strange. I don't know why that's a thing, because they apparently wanted Aramusha to have not as threatening punishing powers, so they made his heavy slower. But like the character's all about feinting and everything. Like, why don't you just decrease the damage but keep like the actual animations of the attacks the same and everything? I kind of find that to be a bit bewildering. Orochi got himself an unblockable, but somehow is worse now. That's also very strange. His like chained lights are pretty ass. The unblockable can just be back dodged, which is a pretty big issue, and you know, still has no opener obviously, but just some weird stuff like that. And I've also seen some other strange animations that are going on, like just one out of example, like Kensei's side heavy from the light side looks really strange in the way it's animated. Looks like it's a little bit longer, and I've noticed this with some other attacks on there as well. I don't know why this happened, but it probably should be looked at. I'm a little confused as to why that's on there. I don't know why that character should have gotten like changed with animations. I don't think any of that should have changed. If you thought that someone was doing more damage, just lower the damage. That seems like the more reasonable way to go about it. So rest in peace to Aramusha. I tried playing him a few times, and oh my god, it's to put it bluntly, it's fucking terrible. So that's very unfortunate. So yeah, that's something else that needs to get changed. And the final thing we're going to talk about is the Warmonger's Feats. Yikes. That is, wow, that is something, huh? I knew when I watched the release of this, I was like, you know, this is probably going to be pretty fucking strong. And then when it came out, it was pretty strong. I don't know why these made it to live. This is like one of those things, like, I want to be constructive. Obviously, I'm going to give some reasons as to what they can do to change it, but you got to be held accountable for that in some way, right? That shouldn't make it to live. Why does a tier 1 do 100 damage? Like, the highest damaging tier 1 is 15, and it has, like, the tier 1 also has, like, a 60-second cooldown. It clears minions like fucking crazy, which is just a Vanguard's wet dream, right? Because you already get super good renown on clearing minions. I'm gonna post some of the screenshots of my like final game screens of playing Warmonger on stream, and you can see I was getting a lot of points pretty much every single game, and wasn't even doing that much crazy. I was basically, you know, just playing normally, but with all the pressure that you can provide from just like your tier 1, your tier 4 on the mid section, like even if it's just one tick is pretty immense, and the amount of damage that can actually come through from that character just with feats is pretty ridiculous. You know, honestly, I feel like for the tier 1, honestly, it should have probably a higher cooldown, do maybe like 30 to 35 tick damage if you even want it to be that high. You know, like I said, there's tier 1s really aren't about being high damaged things. You know, if you want it to work on the minions, sure, but make it like way less damage against actual characters. You know, maybe make it like 10, but it can still fucking work on the minions or something, because you still get renown from there. Like there's some changes that definitely need to get made with that, and even the 4th doesn't even have that that low of a cooldown. But being a Vanguard and everything, you're just able to get your feats very fast. I found I don't know if I had a single game playing the Warmongoloid where I didn't actually get my 4th feat, which is and it wasn't even like close. It's not like I just got it at the end. Like I was using it a couple times a match, which is pretty with those types of things. Those things should just definitely need to get looked at. And it's not like you can potentially take any other feats, right? Because they all work so well together. You know, the passives working off the 1st and the 4th feat. It's not like some guy's gonna be like, yo, wait, fucking arrow strike 2nd feat? That's a pog for me, guys. Might as well throw that one on. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. That's simply not gonna happen. Like, why would you do that? You wouldn't. So the feats definitely need to get changed. It's kind of funny, but I had someone say, so for like the next 2 weeks, Dominion is pretty much pay to win right now. And while it isn't, you still have to not have a potato brain, but it is a lot harder to deal with a Warmonger right now. So basically it's fuck B point, all my homies hate B point. Let's just let's stay on the actual zones with no minions, guys. So that is yeah, it's pretty interesting. So this is the patch, everybody. August 13th update. It is nice to actually get something quick, although it does suck to have an update this quickly after a very big actual change to the game, which, I mean, I figured there would be an update, but you know, it does kind of suck to see some of the issues that are on here. So we'll look at the known issues. The Peacekeeper 2nd light is now dodgeable when getting hit by the initial light attack. That's how it is right now. These are some known issues. The Orochi top heavy finisher feign to guard break now works against rollers. Highlander's offensive form enhanced lights have been adjusted to cost 12 stamina. Highlander's light combo is now dodgeable on block and hit when in revenge or if the opponent is out of stamina. Those are just some known issues, and like, I don't know if the second thing about Orochi applies to like the people just back dodging his unblockable. Maybe you're still able to do that. If so, you probably shouldn't be able to do that. So there is some stamina changes, obviously, to those double and triple hit combos. Things like Shaolin, Warden's double light, all of that stuff have been reduced from 12 stamina per attack to 6. So now a Shaolin, if he does a triple light, it'll be 18 stamina instead of 36. And this is going to be applied to, like I just said, Shaolin, Peacekeeper's deep gouge, which is the triple stab, Warden's double light, Lawbringer's light combo after heavy finisher, Orochi's top light combo, Shinobi's light combo, and Shaman's light combo. So for example, Orochi's double light right now would be doing 24. Instead, a double light will be doing 12, which this change 100% needed to happen, and I'm glad that it is happening right here. And there probably is some other stam values that do need to be looked at, but I think having these things at least change right now will definitely be a big help to those characters. Then there's some damage changes on a lot of attacks as well as out of lock attacks. I won't talk about the values per se, and I'll just only briefly give some commentary on some notable ones. JJ's heavy finishers have gone down. Warden's top heavy finisher finisher went down. Centurion's heavy opener on a max charge and heavy finishers on minimum and max charge have gone down. It was funny when I was playing with Toxic on the early access, he was even befuddled that the Centurion Unblockable was doing 40 damage. He thought it was way too much, and that is getting nerfed. Blackbriar's full block stance unblockable is going down. Lawbringer's unblockable heavy finisher is going down. Lawbringer's light combo after heavy finisher is going down. I don't know if that applies to the Ad Mortem Inamiku's parry thing right there, because if so, that would mean that the unblockable plus the light would be doing 24 damage instead of the 29 of a side heavy, which is fucking weird. Kensei's heavy chains have gone down, which they needed to. Kensei's top heavy finisher has gone down, which it needed to. I was very surprised it only had a 1 damage nerf from before in the game. Shinobi's ranged heavy is going down. Shigoki's heavy openers max charge is going down, and his finisher is going down, which again I do think he needed. I am blasting people with Shigoki right now, although it does feel fun. He does need a little bit of damage tweaks as well. Highlander's offensive stance heavies have gone down, and Shaman's unblockable side heavy finisher has also gone down. Then there's also out of lock damage fixes. So basically, if you get hit with an external or someone just not locked onto you, some of the damage values aren't consistent with being actually locked onto someone. So say you get hit with a locked on attack, it does 24. Out of locked, it was doing like maybe 32 or something on certain characters, which makes no sense. So Tiandi's light finishers have gone down. His heavy finishers have also gone down. Shaolin's heavy finishers have gone up. Nusha's left light finisher has gone down. Peacekeeper's heavy opener and heavy finisher have both gone down out of lock. Warden's light chain has gone down. Conqueror's heavy infinite chain has gone up. Shinobi's heavy finishers have gone down. Aramusha's heavy infinite chain has gone up. Berserker's light infinite chain has gone up. And Berserker's light openers after feint have gone down. So I haven't looked too much about like the out of lock attacks, and I don't really know the values on a lot of them, but it is nice to, I guess, see it have more on point basis with the actual locked on attacks, which is nice. Obviously the other attacks are very, very good to see changed. I know a lot of other values still probably need to get looked at. Like there's, you know, people have really been talking about Berserker zone doing like 12 damage. I don't know how much stamina it does, but you know, honestly, I've seen a lot of zones be doing a low damage amounts. Like Warmonger zone is 14 damage for 40 stam. I don't know if Zerk's is 60, but you know, even if it is, my Shigoki zone is 60 stam and it does 14 damage, which isn't very good either. I think people assume because it's a 4 hit that it needs to do more, and you know, probably could move it up there to like 15 or something, which would be probably pretty fine. But there's also some other attacks in there, you know, like I wish that I don't know why all of Aramusha's blade blockades had to get nerfed down, which kind of did suck. But with attacks doing less, you know, I just think that once they bring some of these, you know, higher damaged attacks that they somehow raised for some reason down, it'll start to look more like natural. And then once we see this change, we then begin to look at, okay, what needs to get changed next. So I think that'll be good. And this is basically what the patch that we're getting in here. It's good to see, but we definitely still have a lot more that we need to get patched. Let me know what you guys think. These are just my opinions. We do have some positives. I actually think that we are heading in the right direction. It's just gonna be a little bit of a bumpy road to get there. So if you enjoyed this little ramble from me, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you aren't already. Hey, this has been your boy Tony. I will talk to you in the next one, guys. Peace. Have a nice weekend. All that good shit. Stay safe. Goodbye.